Have you ever wondered about why do we call the Middle Ages the Middle Ages? Why is God portrayed as an old bearded man? Why do we depict the ancient world as colorless? What was Leonardo's favorite color? Raphael's hidden ambition? That and more in this video. Hello everyone, Artfluencer here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we have something new here. We're going to talk about trivia and gossips in the life of artists. We know them, we love their work more than some of them, we admire them, we admire their discipline, commitment, and love for what they did. These great people achieved miracles, wonders, and created beautiful bodies of work. Anyways, with no further ado, let's go with our first video and our first topic, the Renaissance. The Renaissance was a period in European history that lasted roughly 300 years, from 1300s to 1600s. Renaissance means revival and renewal. The Renaissance was a cultural movement that profoundly affected European intellectual life in the early modern period. Its influence felt in art, architecture, philosophy, literature, music, science, technology, politics, religion, and other aspects of intellectual inquiry. It was a reconnection with ancient Rome and Greeks. Thanks to the Renaissance artists, we now think of ancient Greece and ancient Rome as white and colorless. Usually the antique sculpture wasn't considered finished if it wasn't painted. In the 1330s, Petrarch or Petrarca referred to pre-Christian times as Antica or ancient, and to the Christian period as Nuova or new. Petrarca actually gave that name, the Middle Ages, to the Middle Ages. Main centers of the Renaissance were in Italy: Florence, Rome, and Venice. During the Renaissance, money and art went hand in hand. Yeah, who would say? Artists depended entirely on patrons, while the patrons needed money to foster artistic talent. The most influential family there were the Medici family, considered the wealthiest in Europe at that time. In the period between 1430 to 1480, the Medici family spent $500 million American dollars on patronage. Amazing example of how money can change and shape the world. They also have claim to funded the invention of piano and opera. Orange in Renaissance paintings actually represents the Medici family. On one occasion, when Cimabue, his master, was absent from the workshop, Giotto painted a remarkably lifelike fly on a face on his painting. When Cimabue returned, he tried several times to brush off the fly. There is a story with Dante Alighieri, who visited Giotto while he was painting. He saw his children underfoot playing around. How is that impossible that a painter like you, who paints such beautiful pictures, could have such plain-looking children? On which Giotto replied, "I make my pictures by day and my babies by night." Several great artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Botticelli passed through his workshop. Verrocchio was assisted by Leonardo da Vinci, then a youth and a member of his workshop, who painted the angel on the left. Andrea resolved never to touch the brush again because of Leonardo. In Pistoia, 1401, Donatello met the older Filippo Brunelleschi, with whom he may have had a romantic relationship. They likely went to Rome together around 1403, staying until the next year. to study the architectural ruins. His nickname, Botticelli, means little barrel. Botticelli also worked with Leonardo. They were in the same time in the same workshop. Botticelli's painting, Primavera, this one, or the Allegory of Spring, wasn't actually his original title. That title was given by Giorgio Vasari. It is also well known that Botticelli never married. He didn't like that idea of marriage at all. So, on one anecdote, he was dreaming of getting married. After that, he woke up and went out, roaming the streets of Florence to be sure not to continue that dream again. Later in life, he regretted he never married. His favorite color was pink. He slept 4 hours a day. He also was a vegetarian. Leonardo da Vinci also revolutionized the depiction of the Last Supper. Usually, Judas was separated either with no halo or on the opposite side of the table. Leonardo was the first one who put him on the same side of the table. So Leonardo worked on the Last Supper from 1495 to 1498, but did not work continuously. One story goes that a prior from the monastery complained to Leonardo about its delay. Enraging him, Leonardo wrote to the head of the monastery explaining he had been struggling to find the perfect villainous face for Judas, and that if he couldn't find a face corresponding with what he had in mind, he would use the features of the prior who had complained. I wonder what happened. Raphael died at only 37 years of age. On a Good Friday, he was also born on a Good Friday as well. At his request, Raphael was buried in the Pantheon. He was enormously productive. Raphael also had an ambition to become a cardinal. He was only 24 when he completed his famous work La Pietà, or Mourning of the Christ. When the work was on a display, people actually who viewed the work didn't know who was the master. So one night Michelangelo snuck in and chiseled his name on a place of a sculpture where it could be easily seen. At that time it wasn't very common for sculptors to sign their work. Michelangelo Buonarroti was the one who popularized the image of God as an old bearded man. Michelangelo Buonarroti also was the first superstar in art history. During his life, 2 biographies were published. He had the most bizarre commission by Piero de' Medici, who one winter asked him to make a snowman for him. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and for all of you, stick till the end, there's a bonus. Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael and Michelangelo during their teenage years were turtles and they were fighting crime. They also loved pizza. Bye.